Good morning, this is Mona and this is my morning view. Today, spring edition 2025, April 29th, beautiful day, blue skies. I probably will not need my sweatshirt later on, so not bringing that to work. Yay, spring is well on its way. That doesn't mean that we won't get snow or frost in May. That happens. But spring is well on its way. Today, on my morning view, it is Tips Tuesday. Tips Tuesday. So, had a couple of things in my head. I haven't really given them much thought, just the idea that they were conversations that took place. That's where they take place. First is in my head. So, I think I'm going to go with hard conversations. Okay. There was a friend of mine watches my YouTube. She does not have Facebook. I'm here on Facebook. Hi, Wendy. I'm here on Facebook, and so she watches my YouTube uploads. And it was during a wonderful Wednesday when I'm thanking God for all the wonderful things that He does for me during the week, during life, that maybe it just came up and it's like, you know what, I'm going to thank Him. And if I've thanked Him before, I'm going to thank Him again. So that's what Wonderful Wednesday is about, gratitude and thankfulness. But in that program, I was saying, I thank God that I can do hard things and I can have hard conversations, that I have the ability to do hard conversations. And she said, how about tell us how to do the hard conversations? She goes, she didn't say that much on that subject matter. Well, because Wonderful Wednesday is about thanking God for things, not necessarily it might have a nugget in there every now and then, but it's not what it's about. So I thought about it and it's like, okay, I need to do one on how to do hard conversations. So I think with this Tips Tuesday, clearing the neck, getting ready for the hard conversations. So, before I begin on how to do hard conversations, I'm going to do my commercial here. Like, comment, share if you think the content is valuable to you or to someone else. Share that. If you are on Facebook, that's a complete assignment. However, go over to YouTube, like, comment, share, but the most important, subscribe. Right there, the subscribe button. If you're on YouTube right now, subscribe. If you're on Facebook right now watching me, wait until the live is over. Go over to YouTube. My YouTube channel is Mona E. Harrison. You'll see my wisdom locks and you will see my beautiful face. So, that way you will know that you are on the right space. Subscribe. I need 50 subscribers in order to have more than 3 minutes. So all I can really do there is upload these and do like a 3-minute get ready for these commercial. All right, so that's the end of my commercial for now. I'll have to do it again at the end. We're supposed to do it in the beginning, middle, and the end, but I'm lucky to do it once. All right. Hard conversations. First of all, the longer you let a hard conversation sit, the harder it's going to get to do hard conversations. Because this is the situation. Multiple. The other person is stewing too. They're stewing. That's stirring, but then the other scenario could be, they've kind of forgotten about it. They've kind of forgotten about it, and you're going to bring it up. Boy, that's going to get them going all over again. So instead of stewing for 2 weeks, now they're going to stir for 2 weeks, kind of forget about it, and then, a year or two later, here it is in front of their face again, and they're going to stew a lot longer than 2 weeks. Because you reminded them of the pain that they had already endured. So the longer you sit on a hard conversation, the harder the conversation is going to be. However, you do need to let it cool a little, because you need to cool down a little. You can't come into a hard conversation hard. You need to come into a hard conversation soft. You need to be able to be with the Lord and say, Lord, what words do you want to say about this subject? What are the things that you want the outcome to be? Because like anything dealing with the Lord, the outcome is not your responsibility. When it's concerning you and the Lord, it's his responsibility. And when you're just doing the natural part, he does the super, right? And when you're dealing with somebody else, you're dealing with what their will is. And if their will is not aligned with God's will, the outcome for this hard conversation may not go the way you would like it to go, but it still needs to happen. At some point, you may have to say, we're going to agree to disagree. Not everybody in this world will agree with you. There probably won't even be one person that will agree with everything in your life. Everything. Like, my husband and I disagree on a lot of things. But it's okay. So at a certain point, you have to agree to disagree. If they decide they don't want to be your friend anymore because this hard conversation is just too much, not your responsibility to make that relationship. You've done your part. There's another part. You need to own up to 100% of your, say it was 10%, 10% of the problem. You caused 10% of the problem. You may have caused 100% of the problem. Let's be real. But chances are, when it involves two people, they could have been 100% wrong. You could have been 100% wrong. But if by chance that you only had 10% of that was your part, you need to own up to 100% of your 10%. Because you're not going to move forward with any conversation or anything if you do not accept responsibility for your part. Hard conversations are hard. That's why they're called hard conversations. Nobody wants to have the hard conversation. But what happens is this. You pray about it, and then you just have to do it. You have to do the courageous thing. Be brave and courageous. There may be giants in the land, but be not afraid. Do not be afraid. Because if you don't take care of the hard conversations, they'll always be there. But if you take care of the hard conversations, you got it off your list. Hard conversation is gone. You've done it. It may not have turned out the way you want, or maybe it did. But you won't know until you do it. So have the hard conversation. Good morning, Lynn. So I'm trying to read that without my glasses. I can get your name. That's it. The name, no other words. But don't make that stop you from commenting, because comment and I'll read it later after work sometime. Or in the next couple of days. That's kind of what happens. So hard conversations. Have you ever had a hard conversation? I've had plenty of the hard conversations. And some of them, I came at it with complete ease because I settled it with the Lord first, between me and the Lord. Then I had to go to the person. I've had hard conversations where it's like, Lord, I need somebody with wisdom to help me walk through this that is non-biased. Took a while. made that hard conversation a little harder, because that individual did not like that space between the incident and the hard conversation. Now, it took me about a week to find out that I was even in trouble. I was like, I didn't know I was even in trouble. But once I realized I was in trouble, then it was like, okay, need to have this conversation. Elephant in the room. Talked about it for several days, a couple of weeks ago. The hard conversation needs to happen. You can't wish it away. But don't come at it hard. Get that heart softened. Go to the Lord. Find out what words need to be said that He wants to say. Find out what words you want to say. Try to slide those to the side. Our humanness wants to bring our words out, and more than likely some of those words will be brought out during the hard conversation. Own up to 100% of your 10%, 20%, 30%, 100%. Whatever the percentage is that you were in the wrong, you need to own that space and bring that to the Lord. If you don't know your percentage, ask the Lord, Lord, what part of this did I bring about? What part of this was my issues? What part of this was something I did or didn't do? Those are the steps that you need to do towards having hard conversations. So I'm sure there'll be another part to this, but for right now, that's what I'm giving you. You don't need to know too much information all at once. You're like, what were all those things? Owning 100%. Don't come at it hard. Come at it soft. Spend time with the Lord. And have it sooner than later. Those are pretty much the big main points to hard conversations. All right. So that is all I have for you today. So back to my commercial. Like, comment, share. Go to YouTube, Mona E. Harrison. Subscribe. Oh, by the way, it's construction edition still. Sorry for the noise. Subscribe. Normally, I don't care who watches my videos. Normally, it's one of those things of, oh, God's going to bring the ones that need to watch it. And that'll be fine. But with YouTube, starting back in November, they decided that you had to have 50 subscribers to get more than 3 minutes. So all I have is 3 minutes there. So I upload these over there. Takes a day or two. I upload these over to there, so you can watch them there. You can watch them on fast speed. You can watch them while you're doing the dishes. You can watch them while you're doing chores. You can watch them while you're gardening. You can watch them while you're painting. You can watch them while you're walking. Anything that you can listen to something while you do something else. That's the only type of multitasking that I advise. I don't advise any other types of multitasking. Watch them on fast speed. I think that my voice is slow enough that you can speed it up. All right. So that's what I have for my commercial. Tomorrow, Wonderful Wednesday. Blessings, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you, Lynn and Wendy, for watching. And I will see you tomorrow for Wonderful Wednesday. Blessings, everybody.